Namaste everyone, it's the Chess Puzzler. Thank you so much for coming to the 19th installment of Puzzle Themes. Today we are going to cover Pillsbury mate, which is very similar to the Morphe's mate which we saw on the last episode. First things first, I request that you like this video and subscribe to my channel to fuel my motivation and desire to keep bringing newer puzzle themes for you to improve your chess this year. The Pillsbury meat and the Morphe's meat are so similar, it's sometimes really very difficult to figure out which one's which. But in the end, what matters is delivering a checkmate. So let's dive right into an example and see the key points which we need to keep in mind. We'll start with the bishop position. In Morphe's mate, we saw that the bishop had to be on the long diagonal, that's from a1 to h8. But in Pillsbury mate, it could either be on the long diagonal or on the h6 square. The next point to keep in mind is that the opponent king needs to be castled on the king side, which is the case over here. The g file needs to be opened. It could either be through a sacrifice on the g7 or the f6 square, or it could also be simply capturing the g7 square. Let's see how we can put all of these points together to deliver a Pillsbury mate. In this example, we will start with a sacrifice on the f6 square that meets our criteria number 4. It also meets the criteria number 2 because we are going to open the g file because of the sacrifice. So we start with queen takes on f6, g takes on f6. Now we have one move which could be bishop taking on f6, but that's not going to help so much. Yes, it is going to block the king's escape square to h8, but it also gives the tempo back to the black pieces. So we are going to play a forced move, which is rook g1. Now black compulsorily has to move to h8, and then we deliver the mate by bishop taking on f6. I hope this example was clear enough. Please keep the 4 points in mind while solving the 3 puzzles which I'm going to present today with increasing levels of difficulty. Presenting the first puzzle for you. Now, over here, you do not have to find a checkmating pattern for white, but you need to find out why white cannot checkmate despite having a beautiful setup which can deliver a checkmate to black in other situations. I hope you found the answer. In this case, the bishop placed on e7 is the culprit why white cannot deliver a checkmate. We'll see why. We'll start with taking on f7. This helps white with a discovered check. Now, instead of forcing the king move to g8, white has a beautiful move. That's bishop coming to f6, which is also defended by the knight on e4. So when white takes on f6, black can take it back, and white can come to e7, attacking the defenseless pawn on e6. So basically, black is a knight up against 2 pawns. So the bishop on e7, which can easily move to f6, is the reason why we cannot deliver a checkmate in this scenario. This is the puzzle number 2. It is white to move. In this case, there is a way to deliver a checkmate. Please find the solution and come back when you're ready. Right? We'll start with 2 different moves that white can play in this case. The first possible move is rook going to f7. That's what we saw in Morphy's mate as well. However, I hope you did not oversee that black has a simple move, knight taking on b2, that vanquishes all the attempts white could make to deliver a checkmate. So instead of rook taking on f7, we will start with rook going to g8, and that's a double check by a rook as well as by this bishop. So the knight cannot take the bishop. Instead, king is forced to take the rook on g8, followed by a forcing move rook g1 check. Now the only possible defense that black has in this case is to bring the queen and have it sacrificed. This is a checkmate. This is the final puzzle of the day. I hope you can think of all the variations possible in this case. Pause the video and come back when you have the solutions ready. Remember, we have the open G file, we have the bishop on h6, but we do not have a rook attacking on the G file yet because of the queen that's over here. And we cannot just sacrifice our rook, or we cannot just bring our rook on G1 because we do not have any other piece that defends that rook, and we cannot castle just yet. So to open the g file, we start with a move queen f3. Yes, it is a queen sacrifice. Suppose the queen takes. In this case, white wins very easily. It's a forcing move for black. King has to go to h8, followed by bishop g7. King comes back to g8, discovered check, and it's actually a checkmate. Yeah, so the queen can come, but eventually it's checkmate. However, after queen f3, if the black team decides to move the queen somewhere else, say g6, if it doesn't want to capture the white queen, in that case, it's still better for white. It's not immediately winning, but it's still better for white because a we get a rook for our bishop. And once we castle, we have both our rooks connected, and it can easily attack on the g file with the help of this queen as well. I hope you learned something new. I hope you understand why Pillsbury mate is slightly different from Morphy's mate. If you're liking my videos, then I do request you to please subscribe to my channel so I can keep creating quality videos for you and help you improve your chess. It's the Chess Puzzler signing out.